Good evening. Hope everyone is doing all right. Let me turn this down a smidge. That way I'm not Mr. Microphoning the neighborhood. I'm sure they wouldn't be impressed. So, been a pretty day. I mean, actually, not really. It's been a good day. Started out wonderful. Put out a video for Patreon today. So that's going to be starting kicking off a daily video over there for some time to come, at least a few months. So Patreon's going to really be picking up a lot of content quick. So anyway, and then YouTube is also going to have daily video soon enough. As soon as I can get the grow tent going. As soon as I can get the small grow tent going, you guys are going to have a daily update video. And it's going to be a grow tent update video. So just waiting to get the parts together for the drain system, whichever way that happens. I've actually got, if you go to thewatchmannews.com, there's actually, I believe it's on the homepage. If you scroll down, there's a place where you can click and it'll go to a wish list on Amazon, where if you go there, you can actually purchase the stuff and it will be shipped to us. So either way, I don't care. Whichever way. So that's all I got to do. Get the drain and the drain stuff and the seeds, and I'm good to go. Now, I think I'm going to go ahead and start working on doing the irrigation part of it, and I've got the stuff to do that. So if I don't have everything, I've got close to everything. So I will be getting started on that. Of course, I'll be doing videos while I do it. So that way you guys will see. I can at least get the main part of the system and then what I'll call the branches ran off to the individual pots, and then go from there. I don't want to quite do the pots yet until I get the drains for the pots, because I don't want to have to put pebbles all in all the pots and then take the pebbles back out to put the drains in and all that. So I'll wait to do that. But I can get all the rest of the system in place, so that as soon as I got the pots set up, it's just literally just snip it off to the exact length I need and connect it. So easy enough. I'll be starting on that maybe even tomorrow. So. And then as soon as I get the drain stuff together, then we'll be good on that. So anyway, trying to think if there's anything else. Not sure of anything. So I've got kind of a short subject tonight. Because I really don't have any answers. The only true answer is time will tell. But as the show was titled, is the situation with Iran and Israel going to get any better with them under new leadership? And to put it blunt and short, it doesn't look it. I had initially thought possibly so. Now I don't know anything about either people in either country. Nonetheless, when I heard something to the fact of I think Arab is in the name of the party that's in charge now in Israel. So when I heard that, and maybe this is stereotypical, I guess, but I automatically thought that they were going to be soft on the Palestinians. I guess not. Also, But, Netanyahu has things to say too. So, and we're going to get to that when it comes to them. Now, supposedly, this cat in Iran, this new guy in Iran, is a pretty big hardliner, and was the word that was used, and that's an article I've got pulled up as well. So, is this situation going to get any better? I don't know. Now, when I look at all this stuff, you have to understand, one of the tests that I have to put it up against is the Bible. I just have to. And so when I look at this and I look at the Bible for context, what I'm looking for to come up is somebody to start claiming peace, to be able to bring peace. And I'm not seeing that yet, which is, this is probably going to sound crazy, but a good thing in a biblical sense, I guess, depending on where you stand on it all, right? I'm of the opinion that I'm good with the Father's return whenever He's ready. I'm good with it. But not everybody is, and I understand that. So, in fact, most people probably aren't, and that's okay. That's okay. That's a big step mentally to take, to be to truly be okay with that. Now, when I say that, you also have to understand that just because I say the Father's return, it doesn't necessarily, mean the end of my life, or yours, for that matter. Okay? I don't think necessarily the two are the same. So, I just wanted to make that clear. Let's see. Strumming the springs on my microphone. Hey man, that might be something cool to do. I don't know how that sounds, but probably like crap. Let's see. Let me show you these articles I've got. I'm getting huffed back here. All kinds of strange noises from a dog. Gosh. I'm telling you, man. Do something else. Alright. We will start out with this one. This is the one from Iran. Foreign policy won't be limited by nuclear deal, says Iran's president-elect. Ballistic missile program is non-negotiable. So, let me have a sip of tea. Alright. It says Iran's president-elect, known for his hardline stance, has said his country's foreign policy will extend beyond the JCPOA nuclear deal, and that he will engage with leaders and parties around the world in Tehran's best interests. Speaking at a press conference on Monday for the first time since his election victory last week, President-elect Ibrahim Raisi, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, talked of his plans to implement an assertive foreign policies. Striking a forceful tone, Raisi said that the country's ballistic missile program was not up for negotiation and demanded that the U.S. lifts all sanctions on Iran, adding that Washington must immediately return to the terms of the 2015 nuclear deal, formerly known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. I urge the United States to return to its commitment to the deal. All sanctions imposed on Iran must be lifted and verified by Tehran. I believe that was a quote from him. President-elect suggested he had no interest in meeting U.S. President Joe Biden, but insisted his government would interact with the world in the best interest of Iranians. Our foreign policy would not be limited to the nuclear deal, Raisi stated, adding, "We will have interaction with the world. We will not tie the Iranian people's interest in the nuclear deal." He claimed that the priority would be to improve the relations with the other countries in the region. In remarks which covered a number of topics, the president-elect said he should receive an award for his tireless efforts as a jurist. He said he had always defended human rights and that U.S. sanctions on Iran were human rights abuses. Raisi, who won 62% of the popular vote last week in an election with a turnout of just 47%, will be subordinate to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei on many issues when he takes office in August. Raisi's victory comes as Iranian negotiators attempt to secure a deal in Vienna, which would see the 2015 nuclear deal restored and tough U.S. sanctions removed. The pact, which put restraints on Iranian nuclear ambitions, was unilaterally abandoned in 2018 by former U.S. President Donald Trump, who enacted harsh sanctions on Tehran. So, does it sound like he is going to be more willing to work with the U.S. and or Israel? Doesn't look like it. Absolutely does not look like it. So, I'm telling you, one thing I am keeping my eye out for is some cat that claims he's going to bring peace. Well, not that kind of cat, but, or, a robot kind of cat, like, Biden. But, a broken robot. Anyway, moving on. To the Israeli side of things, this article out of Newsweek here, Netanyahu says dangerous new government in Israel will tell U.S. before attacking Iran. So, hang on, let's see what he's got to say and what this angle is on this, and then we'll go from there. Former Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called the new government that succeeded his administration a threat to the country's national security because it has promised to inform the United States before acting against Iran. Last Thursday, Israeli alternate Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Yair Lapid, I don't know if it's Lapid, we'll call it Lapid. We'll call it Lapid, even though that's probably wrong. He held his second phone call with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in just 4 days, and the two agreed on a no-surprises policy, according to an Israeli Foreign Ministry statement. On Monday, Netanyahu issued a response to the arrangement of via video remarks in which he assailed the new government's apparent break with his own strategy of acting unilaterally. He called it an astonishing commitment. Sorry, hang on. Let me grab a drink. Lapid promised Blinken that Israel would not surprise the United States on matters relating to Iran's nuclear program. That's the program designed to produce nuclear weapons to annihilate the state of Israel, Netanyahu said. He said if such a deal had been reached by former Israeli Prime Minister Menachem decades ago, I don't know if that's his name. Anyway, we would not have destroyed Iraqi President Saddam Hussein's nuclear reactor. I've been asked by the United States many times to give such a commitment, Netanyahu added. Now, mind you, there's no greater ally and no greater friend than Israel has like the United States. But when it comes to matters of our security or very survival, I've always reserved the right to act on our own without informing our American friends. The former prime minister revealed that there were times where he acted without first consulting the U.S. and that the commitment by the new ruling coalition headed by Lapid and Prime Minister Naftali Bennett would only accelerate its collapse. There were times I did tell them of impending actions. There are many other times where I didn't, and yet it took the Lapid-Bennett government 3 days to undermine this important and critical tenet of our national security, Netanyahu said. That's why this government is so dangerous to our future. That's also why we'll bring them down a lot faster than you think. That was a quote by Netanyahu. Asked about the call and Netanyahu's reaction later Monday, State Department spokesman Ned Price said Blinken had set out to emphasize the U.S. incredibly close relationship with Israel. Israel is, of course, among our closest partners in the world. We share any number of values, we share any number of security concerns, and it's on those questions of security where our relationship has and will continue to be rock solid, Price told a regular press briefing. The administration is seeking ways to deepen that relationship and, in fact, that cooperation. He pointed to Washington's assurances to replenish Israel's Iron Dome anti-rocket system after last month's 11-day conflict with Palestinian movement Hamas in the Gaza Strip and other long-standing U.S. commitments to provide military assistance to Israel. Specifically, on the no surprises angle, Price explained that the information sharing was key to the U.S.-Israeli alliance. When it comes to the comments from the opposition leader, what I would say is that Israel is a close security partner, Price said. We share information, we work together across a range of shared concerns and shared challenges, and it's in that context that we work together and will continue to do so, again, across a wide array of mutual threats. Ahead of Netanyahu's comments Monday, Lapid had trashed the previous administration in comments delivered to a meeting of his Yesh Atid party, which came in second only to Netanyahu's Likud. I wonder what that was. Yikes. I think that was a backup alarm from the Amazon van. Man, it sounded rough. Anyway, I managed to coalesce with Bennett's Yamina and other parties to score a parliamentary majority necessary to win the recent election. We have a lot of work to do. The destruction and neglect we have found in government ministries are inconceivable, Lapid said. We're not starting working from zero, but below zero. Instead of worrying about the state, the previous government cared only for itself and its close associates. Netanyahu was Israel's longest-serving prime minister, having served for 12 years consecutively in addition to a previous single term in the late 1990s. He oversaw an intensification of Israeli efforts to thwart Iran's nuclear program, which Tehran has always argued was not intended to produce a weapon of mass destruction. Iran has accused Israel of being behind a spat of assassinations targeting nuclear scientists and cyber attacks against reactors dating back a decade, as well as more recent incidents that have emerged since the U.S. and other major world powers entered into a 2015 multilateral agreement lifting sanctions on Iran in exchange for strict controls of the Islamic Republic's nuclear program. Netanyahu was vehemently opposed to the deal and celebrated former President Donald Trump's exit from the pact in 2018. Yeesh, I'm not going to... Yeah, I guess I can read the rest. Damn. Let me have a sip of tea and a vape, because, wow. Well, you kind of get an idea of what's really going on. Or, I mean, at least what they're telling us is going on, which is better than not at all. All these are major players, and we got to keep a close eye on China. Of course, Russia. Russia, I'm not really concerned with starting anything. I could see either Israel or Iran pop something off, and then of course I could see China start something. So, all right, let me continue on because this goes into now that Biden took president. His successor, President Joe Biden, however, has entered into talks to revive U.S. participation in the agreement, officially known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, in the event that Iran returned to initial levels of compliance. The Biden administration has affirmed to both Netanyahu and Bennett's administrations that it would not allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon, and also reiterated U.S. commitment on other areas of concern. The Secretary discussed the U.S. commitment to Israel's security, the importance of the U.S.-Israel bilateral relationship, and the need to improve Israeli-Palestinian relations in practical ways, the State Department said of Blinken in Lapid's latest call Thursday. They also shared opinions on opportunities to deepen normalization efforts as well as on regional security issues, including Iran security. Blinken and Minister Lapid underscored the strong partnership between the United States and Israel and America's unwavering support for Israel's security. As part of a made deal to form the coalition to oust Netanyahu, Bennett is set to serve as premier for 2 years until Lapid takes over for the remaining 2 years of their shared 4-year term in 2023. While Lapid has previously criticized Trump's exit from the nuclear agreement 3 years ago, he has since referred to the deal as a bad agreement, and Bennett emphasized his own opposition to the arrangement on Sunday after Iranian Chief Justiciary, I've never heard that word, Justiciary, Abraham Raisi won his country's elections in a landslide over the weekend. Raisi's election is, I would say, the last chance for world powers to wake up before returning to the nuclear agreement and understand who they are doing business with, Bennett told his first cabinet meeting as a leader. He referred to hardliner Raisi and his cohorts as mass murderers, referring to the Iranian president-elect's controversial past mired in allegations he oversaw the execution of political prisoners. While Raisi, too, had expressed skepticism about the prospects of the JCPOA in the past, he has since reaffirmed his commitment to re-entering the deal if the U.S. honored its own obligations by lifting sanctions on its country. He told a press conference on Monday that the Iranian delegation negotiating the deal in the Austrian capital in Vienna was continuing its work and issued a message to the U.S. and other Western parties to comply with the deal as initially agreed upon 6 years ago. We're telling the United States that you have a duty to lift all sanctions and that you must go back and fulfill your obligations, Raisi said. The Europeans must not be influenced by American pressure and should act on what they have promised. This is the demand of the Iranian nation from you. So anyway, that kind of gives you an idea of what's going on over there in that region now that there has been a change in guard, so to speak. So it doesn't seem really like there's going to be a whole lot of change. Will it get worse? I don't know. I can't predict that. I can't predict that. Like I told you, the biggest thing that I am looking for personally is some cat to be calling for peace or claiming that they're going to bring peace to that area. So that's the big thing I'm looking for. I'm not seeing it yet. Not in a real serious manner, We've heard U.S. presidents claim that. So, but we haven't really seen it happen. So, anyway, let me have a couple sips of tea here, get rid of this frog in my throat, a couple of vapes, and we'll do some headlines. Oh, man. Fun. Another headline. Let me go ahead and get it cleared out so it's included. By the way, there are a ton today. Like 7:30ish. There was over 30 headlines for me to sort through just on RT. So I was like, holy cow. And I haven't even been harvesting the the headlines from the new getting place, really. I got a one or two today, but that was it. Huh. Oh, man. Let's see. Alright, starting with the ones I put out today, this morning. China must allow another international probe into COVID-19 origin or face isolation, Biden security advisor says. So that's, like I said, we'll see what happens there. I just covered the Middle East this evening. Let's see. Weightlifters chosen as first transgender game star, and Olympic bosses insist they were driven by human rights and fairness. Bitcoin plummets as China steps up crackdown on crypto miners. South Korean Navy submarine builder hit by hackers, investigation underway, says the government. Female athletes urged to boycott Tokyo Olympics as New Zealand accused of cheating after trans weightlifters selected for games. Unfazed by mockery, Mike Pompeo unapologetically tells Americans Uncle Sam wants them to become pipe hitters. Yes, that's right. You heard it right here. Uncle Sam, good old daddy, wants you to become a pipe hitter. I mean, yeah, seriously. Let me at least go into the beginning of this so you know what this is. Mike Pompeo, awkwardly named Donor Club, is on a recruitment drive, this time with Uncle Sam instructing fellow Americans to become pipe hitters. Twitter insists the word doesn't mean what Pompeo thinks it means. So, anyway, yeah. But, I mean, really, in reality, isn't it ironic? Because if you send them money thinking that it's going to help you in any way, yeah, you're hitting that crack pipe pretty damn hard, I'm telling you. Just saying. Oil price could hit $100 this year on tight supply and rising demand. Tehran demands guarantees from Washington over nuclear talks due to former President Trump's arrogance. Taiwan's daily COVID-19 infections tally drops below 100 as 2.5 million vaccine doses arrive from the U.S. While the media focused on theatrics, Putin and Biden quietly launched a new diplomatic effort to avert an apocalyptic nuclear war. So, we'll see. Israel allows limited resumption of exports from Gaza 1 month into ceasefire. Swedish Parliament ousts PM Löfven in no confidence vote. New Zealand's medical regulator greenlights COVID-19 jabs for 12 to 15-year-olds. Russia boosts grain sales as floating tax on wheat exports bears fruit. The UK government gave contract to IT firm that is openly plotting to turn vaccine passports into national ID card, privacy groups warn. Don't buy crypto. Russian central bank warns against investing in volatile digital currencies, citing risk of enormous losses. Indonesian travel agencies offer vaccine tours to U.S. as cases surge at home. Torn between East and West, is Ukraine having an identity crisis? We'll just ask ex-boxer Klitschko and half-Palestinian journalist. Oh, ask him. The Ukrainian foreign minister says Kiev has purchased unmanned Turkish killer drones, arguing weaponry will help it contain Russia. Better have a lot of it. They're kind of a big country. Labor Muslims infuriated by insinuation that Keir Starmer opposition to anti-Semitism caused hemorrhaging of their votes. Hemorrhaging? I don't know if that's supposed to be hemorrhaging of their votes. We won't even touch that. Turkey's top court accepts indictment to dissolve pro-Kurdish HDP party. When will the Faroe Islands vote? Norway votes against Qatar World Cup boycott despite concerns over human rights abuses. Apparently, that word really pissed Blue off. She must really be a word Nazi. Because she is pissed off. World Cup host Qatar announced fans won't be permitted to attend games without receiving a full COVID vaccination. Pop, 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 mama. Pop, pop, I'm telling you. One Nerf gun. Pop, pop, pop. It would be done. See? Hey. I'm gonna have to, I'm telling you, put it in the cart. Blue, knock it off. Hang on. Okay. I didn't want to yell on the mic. UK preparing for autumn booster shots against COVID-19, says minister, as CureVac fails and Novavax shines in trials. Get ready for those booster shots. French Interior Minister calls poor regional election performance a failure for President Macron's party. By the way, I did watch a video this morning on YouTube that was from, I don't know, some mainstream news. And it was talking about COVID. And I swear they said something, was it 37% of Americans they were saying was vaccinated, I think-ish. Anyway, man, the way they made it sound like mandatory's coming. I'm telling you. So, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, Israel calls on teens to get COVID-19 shots as Delta variant poses threat of virus resurgence. Remember what you're funding anti-Amazon activists hijack tech companies' Prime Day Twitter trend. Love in the time of COVID-19, major Russian city asks wedding guests to show negative test or proof of vaccination as cases rise. Catastrophic impact. Tasmanian devils wipe out large penguin colony on Australian island as animal introduction goes wrong. Madrid to pardon Catalan pro-independence leaders on Tuesday, Spanish PM confirms. Foreign policy won't be limited by nuclear deal, says Iran's president-elect. Ballistic missile program is non-negotiable. I already said that headline earlier. BBC draws flask for appalling racism after posting recruitment ad for trainee position that openly excludes white applicants. China's central bank calls for tougher measures on digital currencies. With cases rising, Russian Ministry of Health is planning for COVID-19 revaccinations as antibodies wane in early jab recipients. Russia braces for scorching heat wave not seen for 120 years as officials say working day should be cut short due to extreme heat. India's free COVID vaccination rollout hits record 7.5 million doses in one day. A frustrated Ukrainian foreign minister claims NATO has refused to take a single step towards allowing Kiev to join bloc since 2008. A Russian man arrested in Germany after being accused of spying for Moscow for cash while working as a scientific research assistant. Israeli study earmarks economically imperiled Brazil as best source of educated young Jewish immigrants. Antibody drug from GSK Vir substantially reduces hospitalization and deaths among COVID-19 patients, a trial finds. A viral Twitter post claims 13-year-old died of cardiac event as doctors consider link between rare heart condition and vaccine in boys. EU's top privacy watchdogs urge blanket ban on use of recognition tech in public spaces. Germany's anti-monopoly watchdog opens probe against Apple. Google draws fire for installing sneaky COVID tracking app on Android devices in Massachusetts without consent. Russia and U.S. to work towards restarting issuance of visas as ambassadors return to Moscow and Washington, reveals senior diplomat. A backlash as Swedish National Museum slaps racism and sexism warnings on classic art. It's a long tradition. Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse blasted for defending membership in all-white club. Local CBS anchor slams own network live on air over discrimination and hints at Project Veritas expose. And of course, that's old news. I don't know why RT was just putting it out. Police descend on Stonehenge's summer solstice event after crowd gathers at English Monument in breach of COVID-19 rules. Did David Duke produce this? WAPO ripped for video on white accountability groups to help understand whiteness. I need to better understand my whiteness. WHO epidemiologist warns future constellation of mutations could... I guess Blue agrees. Constellation of mutations could challenge COVID vaccine effectiveness. In coordinated move, West imposes sanctions on Belarus over grounding a Brian airplane and arrest of opposition activist Protasevich. Protasevich, that Protasevich. Son of a Protasevich. Let's see. After a Puerto Rican couple is brutally shot in Chicago by black gang, Democrat activist claims they had it coming. That's kind of insane. Israel's defense ministry claimed success in downing drones using plane-mounted laser. Let me have a sip of tea here. We're almost done. Oxford University may enlist sensitivity readers to censor student publications to protect readers from being offended, says the media. So I think I'm going to move to Oxford so I won't ever have to be offended again. Let's see. Nina Simone's granddaughter details battle with Kamala Harris over estate after accusing VP of driving mother to near suicide. Biden administration's ambassador to Russia will return to Moscow this week, U.S. State Department says. A Brazilian court clears ex-President Lula of corruption charges in another legal win. U.S. State Department will fly extra woke progress flag for end of Pride Month. Yay! Extra woke. Extra woke. The regular woke won't do. We gotta have the extra woke flag. Yay! Does that come with an extra woke cape? Because I want to wear the extra woke cape. I want to run around with the cape flying in the wind. It'd be great. Win Olympics to burn U.S. flag. Team USA transgender cyclist reacts to resurfacing of scandalous Facebook post. Netanyahu says dangerous new government in Israel will tell U.S. before attacking Iran. We covered that. U.S. airlines and crew unions call on Biden administration to jail unruly passengers amid surging in-flight violence. It moved on me. Every third Canadian sees their country as racist, but views differ sharply by gender, age, and political party, says a poll. It's anti-science and it's anti-me. Fauci calls email controversy nonsense and says far right is trying to discredit him. Because the emails they didn't discredit himself. No. My God. Ridiculous. This has reached the point of complete and utter ridiculous. I can't even say it. It's so ridiculous. Ridiculousness. Anyway, messed up. It is. It's truly messed up what's going on. But we'll just trudge through day by day and see what we can figure out, you know. Like I've always told you, as far ahead as we can be when it comes to, knowing what's going to happen. When SHTF happens, knowing what it is and what type of SHTF it's going to be. Knowing that as much in advance as possible. That's going to be the ticket. Because knowing how you need to initially respond is going to make the world a difference. So, that's going to make a huge world of difference. So, that's why I keep such a close eye on things. Anyway, I am going to get out of here. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. I appreciate you coming. Hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.